Omani Beme Hong, Kawadi Nudo, Janice on Roger Jamalova, Te Salang, Chanjo Simjo, Rimbochi, Maki Pananti, Javanya, Mavanya, Kone, Kondo, Panwara, Shaw. Now today, yeah, Juju, Juju Puja, Actually more, what's the day? As I mentioned the other day, Buddhism, three parts. Now today, more Buddhist religion. So therefore, as we usually do, if you say Pali, the Kasoda.
Chant.
Chanting.
Chanting.
Chanting there, then usually the Pali do first. Now I think here not available. So you, I think come here. You are Indian, our guru, and monk, and a scholar. So Sanskrit scholar, maybe a Sanskrit scholar. So you now recite Heart Sutra in Sanskrit.
Om Anirodham Anutpadam Anuchadam Ashashvatam Anekarthamananarthamanamam Anirgamam Yah Pradit Samudpadam Prapanchopashmang Shivam Deshyama Sambhustang Vande Vadata Varanam Pragya Paramita Hridaya Sutram Nama Sarvyaya Aryavlukteshvara Bodhisattva Gambhirayang Pragya Paramitayang Charyang Charmano Vyavlokiti Sma Panskandaha Tashang Sabhav Shunyan Pashyati Sma Eshariputta Rupam Shunata Shunateva Rupam Rupan Pratak Shunata Shunataya Na Pratak Rupam Yad Rupam Sa Shunataya Shunata Tadrupam Eme Vedana Sangya Sanskara Vijnanani Shariputra Sardharmaha Shunyata Lakshana Anutpanna Aniruddha Amlana Vimla Nonana Paripurnaha Tasmachariputra Shunyatayang Narupam Na Vedanana Sangyana Sanskarana Vijnanani Na Chakshu Shrotagrana Jiva Kaya Manasing Na Rupa Shabda Gandha Sasprashtava Dharmaha Na Chakshu Dhatu Yavan Mano Dhatu Na Vidya Na Vidyakshayo Na Vidyakshayo Yavan Jaramarnang Na Jaramanang Chyo Na Dukha Samudaya Nirodha Marga Na Jnanang Na Praptivam Bodhisattvasya Pragyaparamitamashrite Vihirti Chittavarnaha Chittavarnanastitva Vatrasto Viparyasatikanto Nishnirvanaha Tridavasadaha Sarbuddhaha Pragyaparamitamashrita Anuttarang Samyak Sambodhi Abhisambuddhaha Tasmaja Gyatavya Pragyaparamita Mahamantro Mahavidya Mantro Nuttara Mantro Asamsam Mantraha Sarvaduk Prashamanaha Satyamittitvat Pragyaparamita Mukto Mantraha Tata Gate Gate Par Gate Par Sangate Bodhi Swaha Gate Gate Par Gate Par Sangate Bodhi Swaha Gate Gate Par Gate Par Sangate Bodhi Swaha Pragyapāramitam bodho shubharatna kare swayam Sarvaparamitas-tatra tadatmanam vavasadaha Nishprapancha nirabhasha nirvikalpa niralaya Nisvabhava parasushma bindunada vivarjita Pragyapāramitam mata sarbuddhodaya para Triyanuplabdhirupa sarvajnana gochara Niralamba pade pragya niralamba mahakripa Eki bhutaha dheya sadharm gagane gaganam yatha.
Thank you. So thank you. This language is used by all those Nalanda masters. Of course, they also use Pali language, but all their writings in Sanskrit. I think this language, I think it produced a lot of Buddhist masters, and also non-Buddhist masters also, like that. So, when my Indian friend, when they chanting in Sanskrit, very moving. So many years ago, I think now nearly 50 years ago, one great Sanskrit scholar, Upadeva, one time he came to see me, and we just, touched the different sort of scriptures, and then he mentioned the
Prasanapada, the expression of worship, a verse from Prasanapada.
You see, then he used to recite that. Very moving, like that. So, the Sanskrit text, obviously the Sanskrit grammar, Kalapa, Hindi Kalapa text. The first chapter I learned, taught by my teacher, Lingruche. So that lesson quite funny. So anyway, I learned that first part.
Sandhi.
Oh, so very complicated. I think that time, the Lingruche, of course, knows quite well. So me was the first time, so I made a lot of mistake. So Lingruche laugh like that. Or in fact, last night I dreamt Lingruche, and I asked him on teaching of Drense teaching
The clear,
sound
the bright light of Chandrakirti, the Guhyasamacha commentary.
So of course dream, no longer there. Like that. Now we already talk about the, I think, basic structure of Buddha Dharma, and through that way, we now get what is the ultimate goal, and anyway of our sort of final destination. The Buddha seed fully sort of developed. That stage is our final destination. First, we need motivation. That we already mentioned, already discussed. Now the method, how to reach there. Basically, Buddhist sort of structure, there was some 3 training. Right?
Training of morality.
Shila, Samadhi, Prajna.
The trainings of morality, concentration, and wisdom.
Mm-hmm. So actual, the path is the wisdom which understand. Of course, wisdom, there are a variety of wisdom, but here the main wisdom is wisdom which understands shunya. Now that wisdom, in order to become very powerful and penetrate in deep because of the reality. Our present mental state always scattered. So this level of mental state is cannot penetrate in deep sort of reality, or it is impossible, the deep realization. So therefore, our scattered mind must be channelized. Right?
Oh.
Channelized.
Must be subsided for a while. Channelized, no?
Must
be channelized.
So that is the purpose of practice of samadhi. Focusing one's own mind on single-pointed sort of training. That is samadhi. So we need that practice, and then for that, the main sort of the instrument to hold our mind on single sort of point.
Single object.
That's mindfulness.
And introspection.
Mainly mindfulness. And then meantime, whether mind really concentrate on it or not, you see, from one corner of our mind must check. That is Shishin.
That is introspection, mental faculty of introspection.
So these two things are main the instrument to holding our mind. For that, we must sort of, we must build the power of mindfulness. So Shila comes. The Shila means, our physical action, verbal action, mainly these two. You see, they always sort of, firstly, we should know what is right thing, right action, and wrong action. Then,
Yes. Then with the help of introspection,
24 hours, including dream, watch whether my sort of physical action, verbal action, and mental thinking go right,
on the right
way, or wrong, or not. So always watch. So then, immediately when you see your the action go a little bit direct, or because of the facing some danger, commitment of wrong action, then mindfulness immediately you stop, restrain. That's the practice of Shila. So self-discipline. So there are, of course, you see, basically I think two different kinds of discipline. One discipline by force. Like I think Chinese people, they are very good discipline, as I mentioned earlier, yesterday, in the former Soviet Union. Discipline is very, very good. So now today in China, I think over 1.3 billion human beings acting almost like one person, isn't it? So that's very really is a burden, right? Really burden. But another kind of discipline, you see, from awareness and voluntarily self-discipline. That is now here is discipline that kind. Firstly, we know our aim, our benefit, beneficial, right?
No, benefits.
Benefits. How wonderful if that goal achieved. So then there is willingness, you see, to make effort to achieve. In order to achieve that, there's some wrong things, then voluntarily restrain. That's self-discipline. So that's the Shila. So the first level of training of mindfulness. So the Arya Deva, or I think then I think as far as our goal is concerned, final goal is Buddhahood. In order to achieve that, we must have this human being's intelligence. Without that, we can't do. So therefore, we must, our aim, you see, looking there, but the immediate sort of our preparation or effort, we must create a guarantee next life will be human life. Right? Should be human life. So that our practice can carry continuously. So we must, you see, prepare well about next life. So therefore, Nagarjuna stayed in Ranamala, stayed that
in terms of the
So in terms of the goals, there are two goals. Where the one is temporary and the other is an ultimate goal. The temporary one is that of higher states, higher rebirths, and the ultimate is that of the what is known as definite emergence or liberation.
So the method to achieve good birth, that is mainly non-violence act. Because violence, harming other, brings negative birth, low really. So helping other, serving other, that creates the virtues which bring good life, good birth. Then for salvation, mainly the wisdom, the shunya. So the three training, shila, samadhi, prajna. Like that. So therefore, the Arya Deva is mentioned. Sunamimba Tangpundos. Sunamimba Tangpundo. Part of Danan Tompersi, Tamata Shikundo.
Aryadeva, in his 400 stanzas, he said that in the beginning, refrain from the non-meritorious actions. In the middle, refrain from grasping a true existence of the self. And in the end, you refrain from everything else.
Yeah. So this level, this moment, in our day-to-day life, we should refrain harming other and do something good for other. Now here, out of 37 practice, the parliament like yes, daddy, Salia, the Lama Chayun is an Epundan Chigiari. That Lamal Machachina, the dignity, Tons, Ludu, Sum, Javachina, Tons. Then the savage, oh, this 6 marva. The parliament like gas in Kora suit because we December. There's so do not so charm member check, Kora suit on Jig Sunsha. So the need to tang on the parliament like yesterday, that direction was near Miss Gadanti. And Yana Gadi, Losumna, Limdua. So that Nyalanganzu. 양답을 소화 개단디 김전대미지 개주 된대매체 양답을 소화 로스 말레바 되네 양답을 내기다 즉소스 치단 가리미네 지금은 지금 션 내베직 매딩 아니 양답을 나 실다데 류막 미주다 가서 샤누 다 정신쟁이 룡하게 내 등부디다 대창소 양답을 소화 양답을 내다 양답을 나 디체 다 전에 양답에 띵인 짓을 주는 다 애니 양답에 참바 용이다. 양 방향은 좀 챙깁니다. 다 전에 양답에 따와 양답에 또봐 양답에 줘야 돼. 다 디디 인 싫어 공시. 가장 아주 일이 먼저 다 라는 게 아주 좋아.
Among 37 practices to be carried in order to achieve liberation, there is one set of practice among the 37 known as the Eightfold Noble Paths. And the practice of these Eightfold Noble Paths, again, there are two kinds. One, in the context of a practitioner, advanced practitioner, who is already traversing along the five paths to enlightenment. And there is another way of explaining as to how to practice this Eightfold Noble Paths. So this, I could recall having seen in one of the treatises, very likely written by one of the students of Nagarjuna. And according to the second version, the Eightfold Noble Path is what even the ordinary beings can practice in their daily lives. So these Eightfold Noble Paths can be summarized into three groups in relation to the three high trainings. The training in ethical discipline, training in meditative concentration, and training in the wisdom. So we can perhaps put it in this way. The first set would constitute the correct livelihood. Correct livelihood, meaning that one is to lead a life without extra unnecessary elaborations or leisure and so forth, and also not being tainted by wrong livelihoods. And so, and another way, the second one is the correct action. So all your actions that you carry on in your daily lives should be always freed of stains from harming others. So that should be really having a harmless nature. And the third one is the correct speech. So these three constitutes the seven, refraining from the seven non-virtuous actions associated with the body and the speech. So refraining from all harmful physical and verbal actions. And then we also have among the eight noble paths, we also have the correct view, the correct analysis, and correct meditative concentration. So we see that there are the three higher trainings involved in the practice of the Eightfold Noble Paths.
In our daily life, as soon as, I think firstly, of course, monk, no dinner, basically, unless you're very hungry. Basically, it's no dinner. And then lay people also, I think, better less eat.
Less amount of dinner.
Less dinner. So that, you see, you can wake up a bit earlier next morning. Then, as soon as you wake up, remember Buddha and Buddha's teaching. Mainly, they summarize Buddha's teaching, wisdom side, and also the practice side.
Method side. Method. The conduct or the practice.
Conduct, non-violence, based on compassion. The wisdom, interdependency. Remember these two things. Right from the day start, and then make some kind of a pledge. I must carry the rest of the life, the rest of the day, according to these two. The conduct, non-violence, not harming other. View, or interdependency. So I will deal whenever I face some the problem or some sort of goal
Those, you encounter with things.
Something we want to achieve, and something we do not want and we want to get rid of.
Yes.
In both cases, I must sort of keep the concept of interdependency, interconnectedness, so that, let's say, we can see the more holistic, as I mentioned before. So, firstly, our mind can be more calm. Secondly, our method will be more realistic, because, you see, knowing the whole picture, looking not only just one dimension, but 4 dimensions, 6 dimensions. So then it becomes holistic. So that's these two practice or two concepts, I think very, very useful. It shows some kind of guideline, the rest of the day sort of actions, activities, like that. Then you wash all these things or take bath or like that. Then you see, perhaps I think you see this 3 chapter, mainly it's 2 chapters, 2nd chapter, 3rd chapter. Maybe when you feel happy, I think then read. Enough time. Yeah, if you are not happy, then leave it. So if possible, my own case, of course, is the 4 or 5 hours of some recitation, some meditation, some analytical meditation, and visualization like that. So you, of course, cannot do that. So at least half an hour, perhaps, you should read these 2 chapters and slowly, as a contemplation, right?
No, contemplate.
Think. And then, as you see, we are going to take the pledge of altruism. So, do that. And then maybe, that is the Yangdawe Daya Chödi Leswa. Yangdawe Tokpa Chöbati Leswa. Chambati Leswa.
So if you carry your morning, start your morning in this fashion, then among the 8, the practices of the 8 Fourth Noble Paths, it already subsumes, or it already indicates the practice of the correct view, the correct analysis, and the correct mindfulness.
Then also this Tingzi,
and the correct meditative concentration.
Then perhaps, say, if you wish, visualize Buddha and Nagarjunas and these sort of great masters. The 17 great masters of picture.
His Holiness is wondering if you have a picture of...
If available, sufficient, then I think I want to distribute each one. These are not deity, but these are human being. Buddha himself, human being, not a semi-human being, real human being. He come from his mother, with help of father, like that. So human being, not come from egg, not come from lotus, but just human being. So we consider him as a human teacher, like that. At the deeper level, of course, see, we consider it Buddha, like that. So that's different. So all these 17 Nalanda masters, from Nagarjuna up to Shantidevas, up to Shantarakshita Kamalashila, and Dipamkara Shirijana. So all these are human beings, our teacher, Indian teacher, most cases South Indian teacher. You from which state? The poorest state. I think most blessed area, yes. But remain very, very poor. So that's the Kasuda. So then some samadhi, single pointed to the mind, visualize Buddha and surrounded by these great masters. That part of practice of samadhi. And eventually you get some Kasuda experience, then that can extend. First 1 minute, then 10 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour. Then eventually can be 3-4 hours. Then real single pointed mind in good quality, not just dull like that. Not that way. Full alert and very clear, without any sort of that shaking,
wavering.
Then if can remain 4 hours, then you can utilize that mental concentration power to different purpose, and particularly Tantrayana. Then you see, concentrate on these different channels. Through that way, you can actually dissolution.
Withdraw and dissolve.
So eventually through that way, grosser level of mind dissolve, then subtle mind become active like that. So sound looks very easy and very good, but practice not easy. But it is possible. So let us start some sort of effort, isn't it? Like that. So that is part of out of eight is the samadhi part. Then perhaps some joyful way, just
rejoicing.
Then dedication, more.
And dedicating the merits so accumulated.
Then breakfast. Then start your daily life. So during your daily life, or in office or what kind of any work, right, the mindfulness remain there, and remember from the beginning of our days, the life, you see, remember, you see, rest of the day, I must be
use productively, meaningfully.
Because of the compassionate way. So remember that, and then rest of the life, rest of the day, you see, carrying your work. That to do any,
yes. Again, while you are in your daily chores, the mindfulness plays a very important role.
Yes.
And then on the basis of this strong mindfulness in your daily chores, then comes the correct speech, the correct livelihood, and the correct action.
So that's the way. And then at the end of the day, and so the review, something like review. Then you feel, okay, now this day, I carry my daily life according my sort of the morning sort of the
initial motivation.
Then you should feel rejoice.
You rejoice over what you have done.
And make some determination. Next day, and next month, next week, next month, next year, I will do that. If something goes a little wrong, then sometimes it is necessary for confession. Confession. regret.
No.
Simply regret. And make further sort of pledge, I do not commit in the future anymore, that kind of thing. So that's the way our daily life, then it's bound to improve our life. And here I think we must make distinction, the contentment. For personal sort of thing, it is much useful to be content.
Yes.
But for improvement of the society or country or global level, we should not have contentment. So differences, isn't it? And then also is the forgiveness, tolerance. For personal thing, yes, these are
Necessary.
as much you can. Then, even if it's a personal level, if other take some mischievous people take advantage on you, then think very carefully. If let she or her or him wrongdoing, think if that eventually harmful for themselves, then out of sense of concern, out of respect, out of concern of their future, their well-being, appropriate countermeasure is necessary. That does not mean not practice of forgiveness. No, but under the out of sense of concern, out of compassion. So in Bodhisattvas vow, there is one sort of precept. If I can stop others' wrongdoing, even with a harsh method, there is possibility to do that, but not commit that wrong.
No, stopping the wrong. Stopping the wrong is wrong.
So we should know using these ultimately Shantidevas mentioned that all our act should aim some benefit. So sometimes, you see, in order to bring benefit long term, sometimes wrathful action is necessary. It mentioned like that. So therefore, you see, the flexibility.
Yes. So here we see.
Yes.
So here we see a great degree of flexibility in terms of the practice. There is no absolute rules as such. So in the text, Shantideva mentioned that by seeing the benefit, see if your action brings about that benefit. If it does, don't hesitate to engage in that action.
Our mental state, on the level, just thinking one's own interest, then Buddha, there's many prohibitions. Right? No. Once your mental state is reach mainly concern for well-being of other, then situation is different. So therefore, again Shantidevas says,
so then the Shantideva said that for those beings, the compassionate ones, many of what is prohibited for the ordinary people, for them. Sorry. The Buddha, who is the ever compassionate being, he allowed many of the actions which were originally prohibited to the ordinary people. allow to those who are compassionate or who can tackle things so
Greater
tactfully.
goal,
Those,
bigger goal,
those who aim for having a
and
greater
long-term
goal.
benefit. Then some method, harsh method, in Vinaya, prohibited. But Bodhisattva Yana, then allow. It's a different aim, Vinaya level, just one's own salvation. So, all these harsh methods completely prohibited. Then Bodhisattva vow, Bodhisattva's level, is mainly concerned about others' well-being. Without no slightest sort of selfish interest. Then through that way, you see there's some action necessary to stop wrongdoing for other. So they committing because of the negative karma. So out of sheer sort of compassion, sheer sort of sense of concern, then, if necessary, some harsh method to stop that. So these are the Buddhist sort of.
So this is the trend.
So now they bring this book.
This A Guide to the Bodhisattvas Way of Life, the sky blue booklet. Sorry, the green. Yes. So from chapter 2.
Oh yeah. Together, read.
So, chapter 2, please.
Perhaps I think, perhaps visualize, as I mentioned earlier, Buddha Shakyamuni, real sort of the living Buddha Shakyamuni, visualize. And then those Bodhisattvas, great masters, like Nagarjuna and Aryandeva and Arya Asanga, all these. Then, now read this.
So please read together. In order to seize that precious mind, I offer now to the Tathagatas, to the sacred Dharma, the stainless jewel, and to the disciples of Buddha, the oceans of excellence, whatever flowers and fruits there are, and whatever kinds of medicine, whatever jewels exist in this world, and whatever clean, refreshing waters, likewise gem-encrusted mountains, forests, groves, quiet and joyful places, heavenly trees bedecked with flowers, and trees with fruit-laden branches of celestial incense, wishing trees, jewel trees, uncultivated harvests, and all ornaments that are worthy of being offered, lakes and difficult, everything unknown within the limitless spheres of space. Creating these things in my mind, I offer them to the supremely beings, the Buddhas, as well as their children. O compassionate ones, think kindly of me and accept these offerings of mine. Having no merit, I am destitute, and I have no other gifts to offer. O protectors, who you think of helping others by your power, accept these for my sake. Eternally shall I offer all my bodies to the conquerors and their children. Please accept me, your supreme heroes. Respectfully shall I be your subject. By being completely under your care, I shall benefit all with no fear of conditioned existence. I shall perfectly transcend my previous transgressions, and in the future shall commit no more. To a very sweetly scented bathing chambers with brilliantly sparkling crystal floors and exquisite pillars ablaze with gems, with canopies above aglow with pearls, I beseech the Tathagatas and their children to come and bath their bodies from many jeweled vases with food to the accompaniment of music and song. Let me dry their bodies with incomparable clothes, clean and well anointed with scent, and then may I present these holy beings with fragrant garments of suitable colors. I adorn with manifold ornaments and various raiments. Find the Arya Samandabhadra, Manju Kosha, Avalokiteshvara, and all others. Just like polishing pure, refined gold, I anoint the Buddha's palms, which blaze with light, with the choicest perfumes, whose fragrance permeate 1,000,000,000 worlds. And to the highest objects of giving, I offer beautiful, well-arranged garlands, as well as an enchanting, sweet-smelling flowers, such as lilies, jasmine, and lotus blossoms. Also, I send forth clouds of incense, whose sweet aroma, as well as celestial delicacies, including a variety of foods and drinks. I offer them jeweled lamp arranged on golden lotus buds. Upon lands sprinkled with scented water, I scatter delicate flower petals. Though I offer palaces resounding with melodies exquisitely illuminated by hanging pearls and gems that adorn the infinite space. Buddha's jeweled umbrellas with golden handles and exquisite ornaments embellished with the rims standing erect and their shapes beautiful to behold. In addition, may a mass of offerings resounding with sweet and pleasing music like clouds that appease the misery of all, ease remaining for as long as necessary. And may continuous rain of flowers and precious gems descend upon the reliquaries and statues and upon all the jewels of Dharma. In the same way as Manjughosha and others have made offerings to the conquerors, similarly do I bestow gifts upon the Tathagatas, the protectors, their children and all. I glorify the oceans of excellence with limitless verses of harmonious praise. May these clouds of gentle eulogy constantly ascend to their presence, with bodies as numerous as atoms within this universe. I prostrate to all the Buddhas of the three times, the Dharma and Supreme Community. Likewise, I prostrate to all the reliquaries, to the base of awakening mind, to all learned abbots and masters, and to all the noble practitioners. I seek refuge in all the Buddhas until I possess the essence of awakening. I seek refuge in Dharma and in the assembly of Bodhisattvas. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas who possess the great compassion and reside in all directions. Throughout beginningless cyclic existence in this life and others, unknowingly I committed transgressions and ordered them to be by others. Overwhelmed by the deception of ignorance, I rejoiced in what was done, but now seeing these mistakes from my heart, I confess them to the Buddhas. Whatever harmful acts of body, speech, and mind I have done in a disturbed mental state, towards the three jewels of refuge, my parents, my spiritual masters and others, and all the grave wrongs doomed them. Though thoroughly vile and polluted with an abundance of faults, I openly declared light to the world. May I be before me. So please protect me in such a way as will swiftly and surely free me from them. The untrustworthy Lord of Death waits not for things to be done or undone, whether I am sick or unhealthy. Leaving all, I must depart alone, yet through not having understood this, I committed various kinds of wrongdoing for the sake of my friends and foes. My foes will become nothing, my friends will become nothing, I too will become nothing. Likewise, all will become nothing. Just like a dream experience, whatever things I enjoy will become a memory. Whatever has passed will not be seen again. Even within this brief life, may friends and foes have passed, remains ahead of me. Therefore, through not having realized that I shall suddenly vanish, I committed so much wrong out of ignorance, lust, and hate, remaining neither day or night, slipping by and never getting along. Why would death not come like me? Why, although surrounded by friends and relatives, the feeling of death will be experienced by me alone. When seized by the messengers of death, what benefit will friends and relatives afford? My merit alone shall protect me then, but upon that I have never relied. O protectors, I so unconcerned, unaware of such terror as this, accumulated a great debt for the sake of this transient life. Petrified is the person today being led to the torture hand, with a dry mouth and dreadful sunken eyes. His entire appearance is transfigured. What need to mention the tremendous despair when stricken with the disease of great panic, being clasped by the frightful messengers of death? Who can afford me real protection from this great horror? With terrified, bulging eyes, agape, I shall search in every direction for refuge. Upon seeing my refuge anywhere, I shall become enveloped in gloom. If there should be no protection there, then what shall I be able to do? Therefore I know refuge in the Buddhas who protect the world, who strive to shelter all that lives, and with great strength eradicate all fear. Likewise, I purely seek refuge in the Dharma which they realized clearly as a staggering existence, and also in the assembly of Bodhisattvas. I, trembling with fear, offer myself to Samandapatra, to Manjukosha, also I make my dignified body. To the protector of Avalokiteshvara, who infallibly acts with compassion, I utter a mournful cry, please protect this miscreant. In my search for refuge, I cry from my heart for Shantidevas and all the compassionate protectors. And I seek refuge in Vajrapani, upon the sight of whom all harmful beings, such as the messengers of death, flee in terror in all directions. Previously I transgressed your advice, but now, upon seeing this great fear, I go to refuge. By doing so, may this fear be swiftly cleared away. If I need to comply with the doctor's advice when frightened by a common illness, then how much more so when perpetually diseased by the manifold agitations of desire and so forth. And if all people living on this earth can be overcome by just one of these, and if no one can is found elsewhere in the world, then the intention not to act in accordance with the advice of the all-knowing physicians that cannot have I am extremely bewildered and worthy of scorn. If I need to be careful near a small, ordinary precipice, then how much more so near the one deep duration that drops for 1,000 miles. It is inappropriate to enjoy myself, thinking that today alone I shall not die, for inevitably the time will come when I shall become nothing. Who can grant me fearlessness? If I shall inevitably become nothing, how can I relax and enjoy myself? What remains from the terminated experience of the past, yet through my great attachment to them, I have been against my spiritual master's advice, having departed from this and
from all my friends and
relatives. If I alone I must go
elsewhere, what is the use of making friends and enemies?
How can I be surely freed from the unwholesome, the source of misery, continuously day and night?
I should only consider this.
Whatever has been done by me through ignorance unknowing, and be it by breaking vows or deed by nature wrong, I humbly confess it all in the presence of the protectors, with folded hands, restraining myself again and again, my mind terrified by the misery to come. I beseech all the guides of the world to please accept my transgressions and wrongs, since these are not good. In the future I shall do them no more.
Our third chapter, read.
Third chapter. Gladly do I rejoice in the virtue that relieves the misery of all those in unfortunate states and that gives happiness to the suffering. I rejoice in the gathering of virtue, that is the cause for their heart's awakening. I rejoice in the definite freedom and from the miseries of cyclic existence. I rejoice in the awakening of the Buddhas and also in the spiritual levels of them. And with gladness I rejoice in the ocean of virtues for developing an awakening mind that wishes all beings to be happy, as well as in the deeds that brings them benefit. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the lamp of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the conquerors who wish to pass away to please remain for countless eons and not to leave the world in darkness. Thus, by the virtue collected through all that I have done, may the pains of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be doctor, the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world, until everyone is healed. May a rain of food and drink descend to clear away the pains of thirst and hunger, and during the eons of famine, may I become food and drink. May I become an inexhaustible treasure for those who are poor and destitute. May I turn into all things they could need and be placed close beside them. Without any sense of loss, I shall give up my body and enjoyments, as well as all my virtues of the three times, for the sake of benefiting all. By giving up all, sorrow is transcended, and my mind will realize the sorrowless state. It is best that I now give everything to all beings in the same way as I shall at death, having given this body for the pleasure of all living beings by killing, abusing, and beating it. May they always do as we please. although they may play with my body and make it the source of jest and reproach, because I have given it up to them, what is the use of holding it dear? Therefore I shall let them do anything to do
that does not cause them any harm.
And when anyone encounters me, may it never be meaningless for them. If in those who encounters me a faithful or angry thought arises, may that eternally become the source for fulfilling all their wishes. May all who say bad things to me or cause me any harm, and those who mock and insult me have the fortune to fully awaken. May I be a protector for those without one, a guide for all travelers on the way. May I be a bridge, a boat, and a ship for all who wish to cross the water. May I be an island for those who seek one, and a lamp for those desiring light. May I be a bed for all who wish to rest, and a slave for all who want a slave. May I be a wishing jewel, a magic vase, powerful mantras, and great medicine. May I become a wish-fulfilling tree, and a cow of plenty for the world. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the lives of all the boundless creatures, and until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all your beings to reach unto the ends of space.
This one. What is
So up to verse 22.
Now the two shlokas, two verses, actually they take the pledge. So usually we
Usually we take the pledge by sitting crouched.
Oh. Those people who feel comfortable, then do it.
Crouch.
If not comfortable, then okay. Just like that. Remain like that.
So if you're comfortable, just crouch.
Now remember Buddha and these masters, and now because of the reasons already mentioned, so now since we have this precious sort of human brain, this brain can produce such an infinite altruism with help of wisdom. Without wisdom, without human intelligence, you can't develop this kind of determination. So it's my life, my birth as a human being, and also this is
This is truly the inner jewel or jewelry. Loss, internal condition, for example.
Then external sort of condition, you see, we met using this kind of sort of advice. And these advice, not just as a propaganda, but those masters, eons, they themselves practice. As a result, they've got immense sort of benefit. So from their own experience, now telling their disciples. So now made pledge 3 times. Read.
Verse 23 on page 22.
2 verses 3 times.
Yes. Just as the previous Sugatas gave birth to an awakening mind, and just as they successively dwelt in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise, for the sake of all that lives, do I give birth to an awakening mind, and likewise shall I too successively follow these practices. Just as the previous Sugatas gave birth to an awakening mind, and just as they successively dwelt in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise, for the sake of all that lives, do I give birth to an awakening mind, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the practices. Just as the previous Sugatas gave birth to an awakening mind, and just as they successfully dwelt in Bodhisattva practices, likewise, for the sake of all that lives, do I give birth to an awakening mind, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the practices.
Okay, now sit. Now remaining this chapter, read.
Please read the remaining part of this
And
chapter.
develop some kind of kasota,
Determination.
rejoicing.
Rejoicing.
20,
25 down.
In order to further increase it from now on, those with discernment who have illicitly seized an awakening mind in this way should highly praise it in the following manner. Today my life has borne fruits. Having well obtained this human existence, I've been born in the family of Buddha, and now am one of the Buddha's children. Thus, whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family. Never shall I disgrace or pollute this noble and unsullied race. Just like a blind man discovering a jewel in a heap of rubbish, likewise by some coincidence an awakening mind has been born within me. It is the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sovereignty of death. It is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world. It is the supreme medicine that quells the world's disease. It is a tree that shelters all beings, wandering and tired on the path of conditioned existence. It is the universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth. It is the dawning moon of the mind that dispels the torment of disturbing conceptions. It is the great sun that finally removes the misty ignorance of the world. It is the quintessential butter from the churning of the milk of Dharma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the bounties of happiness, this will satisfy them with joy and actually place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors, I invite the world to be guests at a festival of temporary and ultimate delight. May gods, demigods, and all be joyful.
Thank you. So now, as I mentioned before, in a daily basis, when you feel sort of fresh and enthusiastic, then you should read this as a part of daily prayer. Okay, and also it reminds our
Commitment.
pledge, our practice like that. So, of course, in my daily sort of meditation, reinforce the altruism. That's I always do, and with some real sort of emotion, very strong emotion. It's very useful, very useful. So, but that's a major part. Now, Tantrayana. So I think in order to practice Tantrayana, first I think we should go to the doctors, to surgery. Here, third eye put. then let us because of practice of Tantrayana. If we carry surgery here, then I think even normal two eyes may damage. So now, what is Tantrayana? Tantrayana means is a mantra. Of course, we do not know Sanskrit properly, but you see, something like mana, mind, traya, something. Protection. So here, protection means our consciousness, contact with external things, usually, you see, it appears independent, absolute appearance. Then, because of our ignorance, we still believe, there is independent existence. So therefore, attachment or anger, jealousy, all these negative things, you see, happen. So now, protection means in mental level, for I think mental level, they dissolve these object, and then the way dissolution these object, not just think you see nothingness, no. These object, what is their ultimate reality? Focusing, penetrate, and you can't find. So final answer of mere designation. So we never get the feeling, just mere designation. So therefore, through sort of practice of that, because of that meditation, penetrate ultimate reality. With help of that kind of, sort of experience, then you see these appearances automatically disappear. Then that very wisdom of mind which understand emptiness, that mind itself then purposely transform with also the physical way.
Into physicality.
So firstly, ourselves. This body, which the basis of the development of attachment, anger, all these, this body, penetrate. What is this body? What's I? We can't find. Then, on that, because of the mind, with sort of the develop, with turn that kind of wisdom, these all impure object no longer appears. Then that wisdom or that mind deliberately transform or create new figure. No, tungni lotini imbala number social.
So this wisdom realizing the ultimate reality, ultimate truth of oneself and one's body, so this very wisdom then takes the form of a deity. So here, the true nature of that is the very wisdom, the wisdom which realizes the ultimate reality of oneself. And the aspect that it takes, or the form that it transforms into, is that of the deities. So here, because you have the aspect of the deity form, you are being protected from having the appearance of ordinariness. Because you have the appearance, now you have the appearance of a deity. It has already transcended the ordinary appearance. So you are protected from having ordinary appearance.
So then, so this actually, again, Guhi Samansa. It's a Guhi Samansa Tantra. It's a very detailed explanation. According to the Mahanuttara Yoga Tantra, the mind also not this present grosser level mind, not this one. While you thinking or penetrate about ultimate reality, the grosser level of mind also dissolving. This moment, of course, just a visualization, because imagination. Imagination. They dissolve 8 stages. Then finally, 4 emptiness. The first emptiness, second emptiness, that means eye consciousness, all the sensory consciousness completely sort of cease. And mental level also, the 80 divisions yesterday you see, I mentioned, you see, this also you see, dissolve. Then only remaining 4 emptiness. Within the 4 emptiness, the first emptiness dissolved to second, third. The fourth emptiness, that's the innermost subtle clear light. So that clear light ultimately become Buddha's mind. All these grosser level mind never go that way. All diluted.
Yes.
And actually, in a way, it also acting like basis of these destructive emotion. So once these grosser level of mind completely dissolve, then the very basis of these destructive emotion no longer there. So usually when we die, that actually experience. But then again you should come back. Go, come back, go, come back, that way. So through yoga, through practice, then of course up to till Buddhahood, these gross level mind again come. During meditation, dissolve. But then after that, again you should come. Go like that. So that very clear light, very subtle, the innermost subtle clear light mind, always go with energy. Gross level of mind also, you see, moving. That is sort of part of moving sort of ability.
Yes.
That's energy. So awareness, energy go together. Now, in the most subtle level also, although in normally who do not have that sort of training, then when the fourth empty mind occur, just done.
It's like blank.
But through training, then you see, it can be wisdom.
Utilized. No, it can be transformed into a wisdom form.
So the energy, innermost subtle energy. Now, once you see all the grosser level of energy and grosser level of awareness of mind completely stop, then these two things, clear light mind and subtle energy, these these produce or transform. Buddha's Rupakaya, or physical
or form body of the Buddha,
and Dhammakaya.
and the Buddha's truth body of the Buddha.
So because the substance itself is modular doblecho.
So because on the causal level, substantial cause level, the subtle energy and the subtle clear light mind, these two are nominally distinct, but in terms of entity, it's the same. Entity-wise same, nominally distinct.
So the body which comes from that, also now Buddha's body, speech, mind is one entity.
So these three assume same entity or nature, and inseparable.
So
It is for this reason that the bodies, the Buddha's body and the mind, these are taken as of the union, the nature in the form of union, inseparability.
So that's the way, that's the system. So the meaning, protection of mind from impure kasota, firstly from impure object. Then eventually all the impure mind itself
Stops
or project from
Protected.
all these
impure minds.
impure, diluted minds.
Diluted minds.
Like that. So now, in order to practice Tantrayana, firstly, we need some sort of understanding about shunya. Without that, impossible practice of Tantrayana. So I have to examine each one. Then those people who sort of understanding about shunya is zero, then must dismiss. And hopefully I maybe can sit. Otherwise it's very difficult, isn't it? But I think this moment, those people who really genuine interest about shunya and enthusiasm to practice, to study that and to practice that, then okay. no problem. So then, again, the understanding of shunya alone, no guarantee to bring Buddhahood. So there are other sort of supporter, immense sort of forceful support. That is bodhicitta, altruism, infinite altruism. The wisdom which understands shunya and supported by infinite altruism, then that wisdom become very powerful, can eliminate the shijatva.
Yes. Can eliminate the cognitive obscuration as well.
셰도니도 따와 대상 건배 니난 짐버드 매버쳐요디 니난도 대대가.
Yes. So otherwise, if this wisdom, which realizes the ultimate reality, if that is not complemented, if that is not backed by a very powerful mind of infinite compassion or altruism, then this wisdom, at the most, it can eliminate the wrong mode of grasping at things to be existing truly. However, the appearance of, the true appearance of things existing objectively cannot be eliminated.
So that's the system of the Tantrayana, or Buddhist Tantrayana. Of course, the Hindu Tantrayana also there, and also the different yoga practice is common. Buddhism and non-Buddhism is common. Nyamanga do dike chungse, ata mudikwe pumjenda, ta donda kanshima, to shen pumjenda chik poa mikpa, zhongzhuye, tumores lopsonga, chik labda. 나루추루 난게 나루추루 난게 포와 종주 뚜무 이 무디고 뚜무래도 무디고 상하래도 와.
So
one time I met one the Gorakhpur one Hindu Tantrist Tantra practitioner. I had some discussion. So some of these practices common. So the distinction is shunya, anatma theory. All their practice based on atma theory. Like that.
So these the common practices are such as what is known as holding the breath, vast breath, and also projecting the mind out of the body and also transferring it into another body, and then also that of the inner heat, tumo practice.
Was tea break? When? 10:30 or okay. Yeah. So now deity yoga is the basis or the basis mata tomejita kada mungshita kada dichashi. 이게 안다 구투 송주 영야 따디 심을지 안다네 동리도의 손은 할샤요 부축검니 대다 아니 가서 류마 예수 모임이 매력거네 다 동리도의 손은 할샤와 직체 따디 그 동리도의 시바 코라 다 혁은나발 샷대버지 뭐네 샤르 말때 매체 용도 명올라 모임이 자소.
So this deity, or receiving the empowerment on this deity, tantric deity, is like laying the ground to eventually achieve the inseparability of the Buddha's body and this body and the mind. So how do we go about doing that? Is that at this stage, we first of all try to arise oneself in the aspect of deity, in the divine form, through this wisdom, realizing the ultimate nature of oneself and one's mind, one's body. And then, although we cannot do it in real sense, but we, on the imagination level, we try to arise ourselves in the form of the deity, whose substantial cause is the wisdom which realizes the ultimate reality. So here, although it is not in real terms, but on the imagination level, we see that there's non-duality or the inseparability of the body that we arise into, and the mind, the mind which is the wisdom which realizes emptiness, this mind arising in the form of the divine body of the deity. So there's inseparability even on the imagination level, although it is just the imagination level, not real, but there is something there, inseparably of the body and the mind.
Yeah. So now, in Tantrayana, in Buddhist Tantrayana, there are 4 groups. According to or 4 or 6 groups. According to Dzogchen, Nyingma, Tiya Upa Yoga, Ma Anu Ati. 6 groups. According to Shigyu Dojo Kuru,
Yes. Vashatent Tantra, commentarial Tantra.
I think one Tantra of Headbanza. There are, according to that, 4 groups. Tiya Upa Yoga, Mahanutara. So basically, the meaning is same. According here, Dzogchen, then Mahanutara Yoga divided 3.
And in the new translation tantric system, there is the division into 3: the father lineage, mother lineage, and the non-dual lineage.
So now, all 4 or lower sort of Tantrayana, although not explain the subtle level, but actually, you see, these tantrics, the lower Tantrayana system, you see, happen in order to achieve that. So this way. So now this, I think, now this belongs to Nyingma tradition. In Nyingma, Nyingma Kama, Dharma, Thanas, Sumchikyari.
In the Nyingma tradition, there's a division of 3 in terms of the Dharma. There's first the Karma, which is the
Dharma Mata, the tantric teaching.
Tantric teaching. There's the Karma, which is the words of the Buddha, and then Dharma.
They actually translate from India.
Translations from Sanskrit into Tibetan, and then there's the Dharma tradition, which is the revealed treasure, the hidden treasures which are discovered later.
Those great yogi, you see, they, even you see my generation, some reliable sort of practitioner, when they remain deep meditation, then something like memory about the past, many centuries ago sort of memory. And then, you see, the composed sort of text automatically come in their mind. One quite strange one is the one in Kham, I think the previous generation. The yogi himself cannot write. Illiterate.
No.
But you see, because of he met some guru and get some teaching, so his practice is good. So when you see he meditate and deeper consciousness, now these deeper grosser level of consciousness, a little bit dissolve, and the deeper one become active. Then you see the deeper one deeper sort of consciousness, direct link with the limitless of past life. Grosser level mind, new organ, new brain, develop. So unless you see you develop some sort of like a practice of samadhi, strong samadhi, otherwise it's difficult to come memory in grosser level of mind. So subtle level of mind, much easier. So you see, that person, a normal way, he even cannot write. But when he is meditate and deeper consciousness experience, then the memory about many past lives, sort of his knowledge, then you see very good verses automatically come. Quite strange, isn't it? Like that. That happened. So that is dharma. And then also is some writing, some text during 8th century, Pamasambhava there, he deliberately, you see, they buried.
No, hid.
Hid in rock. It's a very solid rock. So those sort of the qualified sort of the practitioner, and then through their some certain sort of deeper experience, then they pinpoint where is it that text remain. Then deep meditation. Then there's one story. I think the beginning of 20th century or later part of 19th century, Khenze Wangpo, 조규림과
공주.
공주 인도자소. 공주 인도자소. These three. So 조규림과 although all three used to have that kind of visions or that kind of ability, but apparently the 조규림과 is more active. So one day, you see, he want to take the text from deep sea, deep lake in Tibet. He, you see, during meditation, he just walk on the water, and then at the place he
Sunk.
Oh,
Sunk himself.
Dipped.
No, he dived in.
Then take the text like that. It happened. So I think we have to request some of those people who have some miracle power, please demonstrate that kind of sort of practice. I remember one time, I think 40 years ago, one time one newspaper, Indian newspaper, you see, mentioned one sadhu, you see, want to demonstrate the ability to live on water without singing. So he announced and sell some ticket. Then you see the organizer, you see, actually he made one big tub, chulus, and then filled water. Then actual demonstration come, that sadhu sank. But he already sold ticket. So such things also, you see, happen. So that is second category. Then third category is simply vision in deep meditation. Then you see Buddha or the different sort of deities and things like that. So fifth Dalai Lama is experience, as I mentioned yesterday. What English name? What is the English name? One American, now Tibetan nun. Cherry. her Tibetan name, Thupten Chodron, is we together carrying some sort of work or new book about Theravada system and Sanskrit system. This is
Comparative studies.
comparative. So not yet finished. So for that work, she visited, that nun visited Thailand and I think some other Theravada country. So she told me, and even with picture, one Thai, very great sort of bhikshu, actually had vision, Buddha, and surrounded like Shariputra, Mongol, and Kashyapa, these Arahat. So he actually just saw and get blessing. So since then, that is a bhikshu, then sort of believe Buddha's spirit still live, still alive. So according to Vibhasic sort of the school of thought, Buddha no longer there. After Mahaparinirvana, and then it's in Buddha's mind no longer there. So after he actually experienced that, so then you see he accepted or he believed is Buddha's spirit or Buddha's being still there. So all to that I think a monk already, that great monk, bhikshu already because of the Vasudev, his student, one younger one, also then believe Buddha and different manifestation of Buddha. So he went to China and pilgrim, and say the picture which she showed me, you see that monk is praying, and then white light directly on his sort of head, something, and she mentioned there is Avalokiteshvara statue. That monk is praying. During that praying, white light actually come. So they actually take picture. I saw the picture. So such strange things happen. And also yesterday I mentioned like that. So therefore, and then 13th Dalai Lama also, when he was very young, he also got different sort of visions and certain sort of advice got during that vision. He actually mentioned at that time one of his entourage, the caretaker, one official. He actually should write down. I saw some of these verses, like that. So perhaps these Tibetan come from Central Tibet. So maybe some because of genetic way, little bit
Genes.
difference of genes, right?
No.
I come from very far, so lacking that kind of genetic. So I never have that kind of sort of experience. Ini gara-gara samsu hartang goslam na. Samsu. Susu samsu.
No, how I comfort myself, console myself.
Not necessarily these visions, but the Buddha's own sort of teaching available in Tibetan language, and particularly Nagarjuna sort of text there. So I can read, I can study, I can meditate, and as a result, some experience here. So okay, not necessarily visions. So I think you too. I think these texts are available. If you make effort, and these are available. And inner potential also same, like that. I think tea. So Sanskrit scholar, maybe a Sanskrit scholar. So you now recite Heart Sutra in Sanskrit.
Om Anirodham Anutpadam Anuchadam Ashashvatam Anekartham Anartham Anamam Anirgamam Yah Pradita Samudpadam Prapancho Pashmang Shivam Deshyama Sambhustang Vande Vadata Varanam Pragya Paramita Hridaya Sutram Nama Sarvyaya Aryavyukteshvara Bodhisattva Gambhirayang Pragya Paramitayang Charyang Charmano Vyavlokiti Sma Panskandaha Tashang Sabhav Shunyan Pashyati Sma Eshariputta Rupam Shunata Shunateva Rupam Rupan Pratak Shunata Shunatayana Pratak Rupam Yad Rupam Sa Shunataya Shunata Tadrupam Eme Vedana Sangya Sanskara Vijnanani Shariputra Sardharmaha Shunyata Lakshana Anutpanna Aniruddha Amlana Vimla Nonana Paripurnaha Tasmachariputra Shunyatayang Narupam Na Vedanana Sangyana Sanskarana Vijnanani Na Chakshu Shrotagrana Jiva Kaya Manasing Na Rupa Shabda Gandha Sasprashtava Dharmaha Na Chakshu Dhatu Yavan Mano Dhatu Na Vidya Na Vidyakshayo Na Vidyakshayo Yavan Jaramarnang Na Jaramanang Chyo Na Dukha Samudaya Nirodha Marga Na Jnanang Na Praptivam Bodhisattvas Pragya Paramita Mashrita Vihirti Chitta Varnaha Chitta Varnanastitu Vatrasto Viparyasati Kranto Nishnirvanaha Trayadha Vasadaha Sarbuddhaha Pragya Paramita Mashrita Anuttarang Samyak Sambodhi Abhisammudaha Tasma Jagyatavya Pragya Paramita Mahamantro Mahavidya Mantro Nuttara Mantro Asamsam Mantraha Sarvaduk Prashamanaha Satyamittitvat Pragya Paramitaya Mukto Mantraha Tata Gate Gate Par Gate Par Sangate Bodhi Swaha Gate Gate Par Gate Par Sangate Bodhi Swaha Gate Gate Par Gate Par Sangate Bodhi Swaha Pragya Paramitam Bodho Shubharatna Kare Swayam Sarva Paramitas Tatra Tadatmanam Vavasadaha Nishprapancha Nirabhasha Nirvikalpa Niralaya Nisubhava Parasushma Bindunad Vivarjita Pragya Paramita Mata Sarbuddhodaya Para Trianuplabdhi Rupa Sarvajnana Gochara Niralamba Pade Pragya Niralamba Mahakripa Eki Bhutaha Deya Sadharm Gagane Gaganam Yatha.
Thank you. So thank you. This language is used by all those Nalanda masters. Of course, they also use Pali language, but all their writings in Sanskrit. I think this language, produced a lot of Buddhist masters, and also non-Buddhist masters also, like that. So, when my Indian friend, when the chanting in Sanskrit, very moving. So many years ago, I think now nearly 50 years ago, one great Sanskrit scholar, Upadeva, one time he came to see me, and we just, touched the different sort of scriptures, and then he mentioned the Shajiti.
Prasanapada, the expression of worship, a verse from the Prasanapada.
You see, and then he used to recite that. Very moving, like that. So, the Sanskrit text, obviously the Sanskrit grammar, Kalaba, Hindi Kalaba text. The first chapter I learned, taught by my teacher Lingruche. So that lesson quite funny. So anyway, I learned that first part. The Samjor.
Sandi.
Oh, so very complicated. I think that time, the Lingruche, of course, knows quite well. So means the first time, so I made a lot of mistake. So Lingruche laugh like that. Or in fact, last night I dreamt Lingruche, and I asked him on teaching of Drense teaching on
The clear,
sound
the bright light of Chandrakirti, the Guhyasamacha commentary.
So of course dream, no longer there. Like that. Now we already talk about the, I think, basic structure of Buddha Dharma, and through that way, we now get what is the ultimate goal, and anyway, of our sort of final destination. The Buddha seed fully sort of developed. That stage is our final destination. First, we need motivation. That we already mentioned, already discussed. Omane beme hon kyawade nyodo da janes on roji jamale ba te salang ga bara sho changjo sim jo ren bo chi ma je pa na ki je ba nyam ba me ba nya kon ne kon do pan wa ra sho. Now today, yeah, 주주 비유도 거야. Actually more, what's the as I mentioned the other day, Buddhism, three parts. Now today, more Buddhist religion. So therefore, as we usually do, if you say Pali, the Kasoda.
Chant.
Ka.
Chanting.
Ka.
Chanting.
Chanting there, then usually the Pali do first. Now I think here not available. So you, I think come here. You are Indian, our guru, and monk, and a scholar.